Choosing the right walking shoe for travel can seem overwhelming, and choosing the wrong travel shoe can lead to fatigue, discomfort, and even injuries in some cases. I'm James, a foot and ankle specialist who's providing advice for over 10 years, and in this video I'll guide you through the best shoes for travel, common mistakes that people make, and what's actually worth spending your money on. But before we dive into specific shoes, here's 3 quick tips that can make a huge difference when choosing your walking shoes. So first of all, sizing does matter. So the easiest way to see if you've got the right size shoe is take out the inner sole from the shoe, place it on the floor, and place your foot on top of it. If your foot is wider than where the insole sits or longer, then the sizing is wrong. And this can make a massive difference in terms of pinching the side of your foot, causing blisters and discomfort, especially if you're walking or standing for much longer periods than you're used to. Then the second tip is that more cushioning doesn't always mean more comfort. If there's more cushioning than you're used to and it's too soft, it can mean that the muscles in your foot and your calf muscle have to work harder than normal to try and stabilize your foot on top of an unstable surface. That can lead to fatigue and soreness at the end of a long day, which is one of the key things you want to avoid when you're on your travels. And thirdly, keep in mind that shoes don't last forever. So roughly you would expect them to last 300 to 500 miles, or about 500 to 800 kilometers. And if you think about doing an average of 10,000 steps a day, which is around 7 to 8 kilometers per day, you'll use them up within 2 to 4 months. That's something that people don't keep in mind, especially if they use a shoe as a versatile option for going to the shops, for going for long walks, or for meeting friends downtown. Keep in mind that it's helpful to rotate your shoes so they don't wear out as quickly. Now you're familiar with these 3 tips, let's dive into the best shoes for travel. So first up, we've got the Hoka Bondi 9. So it's got the supercritical foam underneath your foot, which is really soft, has a pillow effect, really cloud-like, so when you apply pressure to it, you sink into it. It's got a 4mm difference in the height from the back to the front of the shoe, which means that you got a nice even distribution of pressure across your foot, whether you're standing for long periods or whether you're walking. But one thing to keep in mind with this is while it looks like quite a wide shoe, it's actually quite a narrow fit on top of the shoe. So those of you who have a broader forefoot, you may enjoy getting the wider fit in the Bondi 9 despite how it looks. Now a contrasting shoe to this is the much lighter, much more aesthetically pleasing for some on Cloudtilt. So one of the things that we love about this is that it's really flexible and versatile. It has a speed lacing system so you can just slip in your foot and go. There's no worries about bending down to tie your laces. But some of the downsides of this shoe is it doesn't give as much cushioning, as much padding and vibration absorption as what we get in the Bondi 9. So it may not be as good of an option if you're going to spend excessive amount of times on your feet compared to what you're normally used to. Then we have a complete max cushion shoe in the Nike Romaleos Plus. So as you can see, it's got the Zoom X cushioning, it runs all along the shoe. So it's really soft, really padded, similar to what we get in the Bondi 9. But in contrast to that, it's got a 10mm difference from the back to the front of the shoe. So if you've got a history of Achilles or calf issues, it's really helpful by elevating the heel. If you have a history of sensitivity in the ball of your foot and you're going to stand and look at museums all day, you're going to get some extra pressure on the ball of your foot. However, its Zoom X cushioning and the aggressive geometry mean that it's quite a responsive shoe for those of you who are quicker walkers and want something that's a bit more aesthetically pleasing. Then we have the Asics Gel-Kayano 32. So this has a relatively soft cushioning but has some direct arch support to provide some stability for those of you who need more pronation control focused shoes. It's an excellent option with a wide fit in the toe box, and it comes in a wider version as well. Not ideal for those of you who want a support shoe without arch support directly underneath your foot. If you're looking for a lighter option, you might look at something like the Hoka Arahi 8, which I'll pop a link to in the description below. Finally, a shoe that sits in the middle of all 5 shoes, and that's the New Balance 880 V15. It's your kind of run-of-the-mill daily workhorse shoe that's completely underrated by most. It's got really balanced cushioning underneath your foot, so it's not too firm but it's not too soft either. It's got a nice rocker geometry to help with the push-off phase of the gait cycle, lots of space in the toe box, and it comes in a wide and an extra wide version as well. It's what we'd classify as a stable neutral shoe, so while it's got a flat platform underneath your foot, it has plenty of stability elements in it to try and keep you centered in the shoe as you move. So whether you're looking for a more balanced shoe, more cushioned shoe, or more aesthetically pleasing shoe, we've got you covered with all 5 of these. There's links to them in the description below if you want to check out the latest prices, or if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below.